Do you think you don't maybe get enough credit for actually being quite a talented worker and wrestler because you did so much of the hardcore wrestling?
Yeah, people overlook my actual wrestling skill that which I learned first before I learned high flying and hardcore stuff and extreme stuff. You had to learn basic wrestling. You have to have basic wrestling skills, and everybody's who's trained should know basic wrestling skills. So I trained and studied wrestling. I've wrestled amateur for 5 years, and then and I trained pro wrestling for 2 years before I had my first match. But I concentrated on the mat wrestling first for my first 5 years. I never went to the top rope.
Yeah, and is that because your uncle wouldn't let you go to the top rope?
No, he didn't want me to because I was always the first match, and in the first match you don't give him that much.
Mm.
You only give him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. When did the Sabu and Sabu the Elephant Boy? Obviously, there was the suffix that would come with that as well. And what's the Elephant Boy part first?
Well, my uncle was a big fan of Sabu, the actor, the guy in the Jungle Book, the movie The Jungle Book, Mowgli. His name was Sabu, and my uncle was a fan of his. He used to put a towel on his head and act like him. And my uncle wanted to name his son Sabu, but my aunt wouldn't let him, so they named the dog Sabu. And then when I came along, I was actually the second Sabu. He named me Sabu. I forgot what I was getting to. Oh, the Elephant Boy. So an Elephant Boy is like a cowboy. They herd elephants in India. So it's a dangerous job. In India, I'd have respect of being called an elephant boy. In the States, I get laughed at being called an elephant boy because it sounds like I'm an elephant man or something. But so I dropped elephant boy myself because nobody understood it. And I didn't want a name where I had to explain it to people.
You know what, right? You just mentioned that you said you did amateur wrestling for 5 years. Was that all in preparation because you knew you were always going to be a professional wrestler?
Yes, it was preparing me for my job.
Yeah. So when did you sort of like have the Sabu name, and what was Sabu
That
all
came
about
along.
down?
That was about '89 when my uncle named me Sabu. My first 5 years, I was Terry Nobody. And then because when you first start, those matches don't count because no one's going to remember those, or so we think. So I was just Terry Nobody just to learn. And then after 5 years, he named me Sabu.
I heard this, and this is actually in Chris Candido's book that his brother wrote. And I've been speaking to Johnny quite a lot recently. He said, mention this. Before you got like the really professional looking glossy baggy pants, he said that you may have found some maternity pants from a charity shop from a Goodwill and used those as like the baggy Arabian pants.
No. I got some Zubas because they were baggy pants. Actually, Van Damme's the one that turned me on to him. He had some judo pants, and I liked the way they looked. And so I got some Zubas that looked like judo pants and made those my first pants.
Yeah. And of course, when did the table come in? Right, you get the credit for bringing tables to America. Who's the first person? Did you just think there's a table, I will use it, or did you see someone else do it first?
No, I didn't see no one else do it first. My uncle, we had a match and we lost. Of course, it was a work, but he was punishing me. So he goes, get back in the ring and get your heat back. I go, what should I do? He goes, think of something. I said, I'll moonsault the table. He goes, what's that? So I go, I'll show you. So I threw in the ring and I did it, and it took off from there. But I did it for a punishment because I lost the match. So he would punish me, slap me around, then I'd flip on the table and hurt myself. But I wouldn't hurt myself to make it look like it.
Did he get really bummed out when you started doing the moonsaults?
No, he just said, no, you can't stop.